Kia ora everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have for you a haul. I don't generally do hauls because if I order in a colouring book, I'm usually only ordering one at a time, so I just do a flip of it. Sometimes I forget. Or if I'm ordering in supplies, I'm just ordering in one or two things. So there's usually not enough to justify a haul. I have thought about maybe doing like free monthly hauls or something. So that might be something I'll consider doing in the future if y'all are interested in seeing sort of like a haul of what I purchase. But yesterday I kind of had a bit of a day and I did a lot of emotional shopping. I have placed an order online for some stuff, so there's possibly going to be another haul coming. And I went into town and also picked up a ton of supplies and coloring books and craft bits. Yeah, my wallet is crying. I feel better though. So today I thought I would film an actual haul for you all. So we're going to start with some supplies, some crafting bits, and then we'll get into the colouring books. Now, when we get to the colouring books, I'll show like a couple of pages from each of them. But if you want to see a proper flip through of any of the books, please do let me know. I'm more than happy to film them. I've already had a request for one of them to be filmed as a proper flip through, so at least one of them will be done as a proper flip. But for now, let's start off with some of the supplies. Also, I'm still a little under the weather, as you might hear, so I do apologise for coughing and clearing a throat and stuff like that, because that's still an issue for me. So the first thing I got was a basket and some little organisers. Now, one of these I'm planning to take to my bedroom to actually just keep all my hair ties in, because I'm always misplacing my hair ties and my hair clips and stuff. So this will hold all my bobby pins and hair ties pretty handy in one of these. But these also happen to fit in the side of this basket. And the reason I got that is this is my current stickles slash random glitters storage container. This isn't all my stickles, and there's some other bits in here that aren't meant to be in here, like my Kaisercraft shimmer spray and some enchanted shimmer. So my idea is that my stickles and glitter glues, as well as my liquid pearls, are going to be moved into this container. So the little container should hold all the liquid pearls and help me keep them distinguished, whereas my stickles, oh, I just hit the mic, apologies about that, will fit into here. And I'm probably going to end up like having a few just piled up in here because I have a lot of stickles. But this container here fits better into my storage. And the current container that I'm using to hold my stickles is going to be turned into water-soluble marker storage. And one of these containers will also be stolen for this marker storage container to hold rubber bands in, because I would like to take my water-soluble markers, take them all out of their packets, and then organize them into color groups, and then I can keep them in here. And this container will fit better on the shelf where I want to keep my glitters, and then this one will fit onto a different shelf where I'm going to keep my markers. So yeah, just a little bit of storage organization. There'll be a lot more of that coming up as I finish unpacking and settle into the room. That was the first purchase. Now I got, this is not part of it, I just kept it in there to keep it safe. I got some metallic gel pens and a white gel pen. So the white gel pen is by Uniball. It is a Signo white gel pen. This used to be my gel pen that I used before I got Poscas. And then these metallic gel pens are by the brand Whitcoulls. Whitcoulls is a stationery store here in New Zealand. They are usually $10. I got these on a sale, so I paid, I think, $7. I have already used these gel pens. In fact, here is the gold one here. I really like using these gel pens for metallic effects. They are very juicy. They roll really nicely. They actually roll very similar to the Signo. They feel very similar to the white Signo gel pen. But the other thing is they actually work really well on top of a wet marker, as you can see, but they also work really well on top of pencil, including burnished pencil. So I really, really like using these gel pens. And you can see it's got a beautiful shine reflect. So I really, really enjoy using these gel pens. Now the gold that I have here, as you can see, is still working. Sorry, there was a cat hair there. Is still working, still has a little bit of ink left in it. And the rest of the range has a bit more ink in it, but I have used the other colours. I primarily use the gold. But what I'm going to be doing with the gold, with the gel pens, and also this white gel pen, which I'll just show you here, also a really nice white gel pen, is I have a hospital bag or a to-go bag for if I fall over and have to be taken into hospital for x-rays and checking up after a fall. And what it is it's a bag that's just got a few bits and pieces in there that can just be picked up and taken with me in the ambulance, and then they know that I've got my essentials and all I have to do is grab my phone and my wallet and my keys, which don't live in the hospital bag but are generally in my trolley anyway. So it's like, cool, trolley plus this one bag, everything's good to go. If you want to see a tour of my hospital / to-go bag, let me know, because I'm happy to film that. There's actually some interesting stuff in there. But I was looking through some of the bits that were in there recently, and I realized that I had no white gel pen. So I was like, or a white marker in there, because I do have some coloring supplies in there. I was like, all right, let's go and pick up a white pen. And then I was like, well, these pens are running low, so why don't I take the set that is running low and also move it into the hospital bag and replace it with a new set in my everyday kit? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out all of the 6 gel pens and the white gel pen, and these will go into my supplies in my to-go bag. And then I get a nice new set in my everyday use. I'll just put the... Cool. All right, you're somewhere under the desk now. My hands. Oh, my hands have not been great this month. And so because my hands have not been great this month, actually we'll keep that there, I ended up purchasing markers, because I have been using markers a lot this month because they've been really easy colouring on my hands. I'll leave the sticker on there. Actually, I should have shown you before I popped it open. So I brought this set of markers here. This is something I've had an eye on for a while, and I just thought, you know what, screw it, I'm going to get them. So these are by Staedtler, the double-ended fibre tip pens. So they are water-soluble markers again, but they just look like fancy pens. But I was really interested in the colour range because it looks like there's a few colours in here that I don't have in any of my other marker sets, like a couple of the browns. These are cooler purple, and it looks like there's a bit of a blue grey. So I've still got to swatch all these. I'm going to pull out the purple and the blue grey because these are the two that I'm most interested in. So they're double-sided, so one end is thicker. That kind of reminds me of a super tip end. Oh, that's a pretty purple. And then we have a fine tip end that looks to be super, super fine. It's like fine liner fine. Oh, that's fantastic. And the slot, please. All right, let's see if this is actually a blue-grey or if it's just a grey. Oh, no, it is a blue-grey. Oh, that's pretty. I definitely don't have a colour like this in my marker collection. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, I'm excited to swatch these. Oh, okay, that sticker's stuck down. That'll do. So yeah, I ended up getting the fibre double-ended fibre tip, I don't know, Stadler markers. So again, these are from Whitcoulls. That is the price there. They were rather pricey, but things are pricey here in New Zealand. So yeah, but I'm excited for them. And again, I was emotional shopping. So the other markers that I got is Crayola Colour of the World set. So I got these ones from the Warehouse, which is sort of like a Target here in New Zealand. Now I've had a set of these before. In fact, I do have a Colours of the World set of markers. I have the chunky markers, so the thicker markers. And I had a set of these fine markers. However, in the past when I've used the markers, I've been using water-soluble markers with the technique where you take the marker colour on some glass or a plastic plate and then pick it up with a brush and water or a water brush and use it like a watercolour. And so these fine markers were superfluous to my needs because the thicker markers allowed me to get more colour on the plate. So I was like, I'm never using these fine liners. I don't colour with markers directly, so let me pass them on to somebody who can use them. So I did. I passed them on to somebody, to a kid in need. I made up a little colouring kit of these markers, some other markers that I had, and some colouring books, and that went to a child in need. So they went to a very good home, and I'm happy that I blessed them with that because I think I chucked some like stickers in there too, and I just kind of went through all my supplies and made up a cute little art kit. So even like a pad of paper, and I don't know, it was just like a little creative kit, just with stuff that I had at home. And they were very, very happy to receive that. So I was very happy to pass it on. But because, especially this month, but in the last couple of months, I've been doing a lot more colouring with markers directly onto paper and shading with markers directly. And so now I'm kind of regretting getting rid of these finer markers. And then when I was at the warehouse, I happened to see the Colours of the World kit and they were on clearance. So I was like, it's a sign. I miss having them. I don't regret giving them away. That's the wrong word. I don't regret blessing the child, but I was like, I kind of miss having the markers. So because I saw them on clearance, I was like, you know what? Let's pick them up again. And if you haven't seen the Colours of the World range, it is a gorgeous range of skin tones, but also just natural earthy tones. And if you use water-soluble markers in any form, I really think this is an essential kit to get because it just expands your earth tone range so much. And it's more than just skin tones. I've used these to colour brickwork. I coloured a page in the Firefly colouring book where they were on sort of like an abandoned planet, so it had like a desert look and lots of earthy browns, and their clothes were quite earthy tones as well. And I was primarily using this set because there's just such a fantastic range in here, so really do recommend this set. And then going back to Whitcoul purchases, because I purchased so much at Whitcoulls, they had a deal going where this set of kids markers were a couple of dollars. And I was like, you know what? Sure, chuck them in. Did I need them? No. But they were a good price. And you know what? They're absolutely fine markers. I'll give them a little test with some water later on. Again, the water-soluble markers. If I decide I don't need them in my kit, I will pass this on to my niece and nephew. The Nibblings will have a blast with them, and they are a good range of colours. And they're in a nice rainbow kit, which is what they love. Yeah. And I was like, well, for a couple of bucks, I'll pick them up. I think they were like usually 15, but because I had purchased over a certain amount, I could purchase them for like $5. So, yeah, not bad. Okay, so that's the end of the markers, and then now I've got some random supplies. So the first thing I grabbed was this brick stencil. Now I actually already have one of these, and it's a really, really useful stencil. The only thing I've found with these stencils is that they can be a bit difficult to clean because they're so fine. And so the brick stencil I have used before has got like brick coloured tones on it. But when I was in the warehouse, because this is the warehouse store brand, again, this was on clearance for $3. I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick that up because that means I could have one for grey, like grey black tones. So I've got my brownie red one and then I've got a grey black one. This will also mean that if I ever need to do a bigger spread, I can line up the two stencils. Well, not really because there's an edge, but I've got room to play with two stencils at once. And again, these are usually, I think, $12, but it was on clearance for $3. So it's like $3, we'll pick it up. It's a very useful stencil that I've used multiple times. And then while also at the warehouse, I picked up some more washi tape. So these two here are actually refills. I have both this yellow floral and this white floral with bees. Sorry if it's a bit shiny, but I don't want to take these out of the plastic just so I know that the other ones are the ones that are already started. So this is just their, again, Unity, which is the warehouse in-store brand. These are only $1.50 a roll, and they're really, really good washi tape. So I often look at them when they come in and just see if there's any new designs, and then pick up and expand my washi tape collection if I find something that I feel is quite useful. I love little florals like this, especially florals where you've got a clear edge like this, because these tapes are easy to repeat, which means they can work well for clothing. And then there was also this one in, which I've never seen before. But again, this is going to be a stackable washi tape because we've got a nice even border. So I can put multiple rows together and I can either line up the pattern or have opposite pattern. I think this will make an excellent background. And I have a colouring page where I need to make a wallpaper. And I actually thought this would be a really good tape to use as the wallpaper. For that page, because I can line up that pattern and make almost like a hex cross pattern with it. So very excited for that one. That was the only one roll of this design, or else I would have picked up two of them. And then because I need to fussy cut some washi tape and some other colouring projects that I have in mind, I also picked up a new hobby knife. This is one of those hobby knives where you can replace the blade. I have one of these knives. Unfortunately, in the move, I discovered that this knife was on the shelf that was affected by the leak and had gone very rusty and nasty, and I couldn't replace the blade, and I was just like, yeah, no, this is not worth me trying to even bother to clean up. So yeah, I just got rid of it. Oh, apologies. Again, still sick. So yeah, nothing too exciting, but just a very useful tool to have. And I didn't need replacement blades because they were kept in a separate place and they were fine. And that was again the warehouse. Going back to Whitgulls, I brought some butterfly stickers. These have a slight 3D effect to them. So the top wing is reprinted on a slightly clear layer. I just thought these were super cute, and I do have a plan in mind for these that goes with, let's get rid of that test sheet, that goes with this item that I brought, which is a DIY fairy door. This is again from the warehouse. It is rather chunky, but this is actually for a colouring book. And you might be looking at it going, whoa, that's going to be chunky in a colouring book. You are correct. However, I have 30 days of creativity. And if you have not seen this book I am approaching in an art journaling sort of way. So I often stick things in. I use different techniques. This is the brick stencil, by the way, that I showed before. So I'll stick in different magazine cutouts, different scrapbooking elements, and create different spreads. And so I was working in order. However, I want to skip this candy page because I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do there yet. And so I have some ideas coming up for this Progress Not Perfection one. And then there is one coming up. I'm not sure if maybe I'll do it on this one, or I think there's something that's like make magic or do what makes you happy would work for it as well. So there's something about create magic is one of the every child is an artist. I've got a plan for that one too. Inspire, not intimidate. It could be that one. Okay, go outside the lines. Got a plan for that one too. Maybe on this one, I'm not sure. I'll have a good flick through, but my idea is to actually make a little fairy door and have the butterflies coming off it. I also have this beautiful bookmark from Clara Markova, so I might even stick this onto a page. It may be a page where I'm just not inspired by the design on it. Like this one here where it's just despair and you're meant to draw your own flowers. Like I could put flowers around there or something. Or I could put the fairy door here and draw a little fairy in there and then put the little butterflies around. Or put it on here and cover up the words and put the fairy on there and then we could stick that. My apologies, I just had to cough up a ton of mucus. I am very not well at the moment. The only reason I was out in town yesterday was I had to go to an appointment, so that's also why I went shopping, because I wasn't feeling well. But yeah, I like the idea of actually putting the fairy house on here and then working with the flowers so that they're maybe adding some additional flowers on, adding the butterflies, and then we might stick the bookmark in here. Because I could use this as a bookmark, but I like the idea of introducing it as an element on the page. Or I could even do what I've done here, where I made my own bookmarks, but instead of having a ribbon at the bottom, have the ribbon at the top and attach it to the page. So it would be like it originates here, but it can be used as a bookmark throughout the book. There's a lot of options. That's the fun thing about this book. Like, I don't 100% have plans going into it, but we can make things up as we go along and have fun with it. And yes, this is going to chunkify the book quite a bit. However, because I'm often, when it comes to doing a page, I photocopy it and then add work on the photocopy and then stick it in. This book is going to get chunky regardless. So, yeah, I don't mind having it chunky. And so this, as you can see, opens up. And you do actually open up there. So I think that's going to be super, super cute to add as an element on the page. And then draw a little something behind it. So, and just use the florals around the page, or maybe replace them with my own florals. I've got so many floral cutouts and stuff like that. So yeah, that's something that I am planning to work on at some stage. And obviously this part will be painted as well and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I just thought that would be a really fun little combination. So again, this is from the warehouse. I believe this was like $4. Wasn't too much. The bookmark came when I got my Clara Markova book. You could possibly look at some printouts or anything like that. Some of the other books you could photocopy if they've got cute little fairies. And then these stickers came from Whitcoulls and were also $4. And this also gives me a bit of a colour scheme as well, because we've got quite a palette there. Alright, so keeping with the 30 Days of Creativity book in mind as well, as I said, when I approach this book, I often use different cutouts. So scrapbooking elements like these bits here, but sometimes I will cut out elements from magazines, like all these flowers and this bird are from a magazine. This is from a magazine. But I don't buy magazines brand new for this purpose. The magazine cutouts that you see in there are from a library clearance where they cleared out some of their library magazines and it was like fill a bag for $1. Well, on my way to the appointment, I also went to an op shop or a second-hand shop. We call them opportunity shops here in New Zealand, so op shop. And while I was there, I discovered Frankie magazine. Now, I know these retail quite expensively here in New Zealand, and they were clearing them out for $2. But this magazine is amazing for scrapbooking. So straight away, I saw in this issue ice creams. I know there's an ice cream page in 30 Days of Creativity. So I was like, oh, yes, there we go. There's a lot of different stuff that you can use for textures, for backgrounds, for cutouts. And because it's a matte paper magazine, it also works really, really well for art journaling. It doesn't add that shiny magazine texture. So I really like this sort of, so even these backgrounds, like you could replace that center with something else. Again, I'll grab that bookmark and have this as a background element. Same with down here, like you could take this and then where this is, you can replace that text and you could change that into a writing. And that's almost like an instant art journaling page. There's a few of them actually, so quite neat. So yeah, I saw that one. I was like, okay, I think I'll grab that. And then I was looking around the store, and I found a few more. And so yeah, I ended up getting 6 of these magazines. So it did cost me $12 all up. But again, the art journaling perspective potential on this. Oh look, we have cat food. I don't think these are, or is it dog food? Dog food. There might be a dog page in 30 Days of Creativity. So some of them, I didn't flick through them all in particular. I did flick through that one that I found first. And so some of them may have more uses than others. Even like an image like that can be quite cool to pull in. So yeah, I tend to just, if I'm working on something, I'll flick through a magazine and see if there's anything in there that has a potential. Sometimes I'll pre-rip out or pre-cut out stuff and add it to a little expandable folder that I have of different like things that I've found in junk mail or magazines, and it's kind of sorted into like there's a flower section, there's a food section, there's a folder full of random cutouts and stuff like that. So sometimes I'll pre-pull out if there's only 1 or 2 things in a magazine. That's kind of cool. But yeah, in the case of these ones, I'll probably just leave them in the magazine. So that would be quite cool again too. You could just cut out those flowers, or you could do the same thing. And then again, because this is matte paper, something I've done in the past in my art journaling is, because there's a person here, I will actually paint over that and then re-sketch it in and then paint it in. So it's like adding to the page, which could be quite fun to do there as well. Yeah, and I am thinking about filming some of my process in 30 Days in Creativity to show you guys how I sort of approach art journaling in a colouring book as well. I could actually film some of my art journal stuff and show you guys my art journals if you're interested as well. Please let me know down below if that's something that you would be interested in seeing as my art journals, or maybe some art journaling stuff. It is a really fun activity. I don't do it all the time, but it's the sort of thing that I will go to when I need to journal. And then the last thing that I got at the opportunity shop is also related to art journaling, and that's this art book here. Now, I have never ever heard of this artist. I did have a quick read through of it, and she is an Australian artist. There's actually quite a bit of an interview here. I didn't read through all of it, but she does a lot of spiritual art, not necessarily religious spiritual, but more just connecting, and she talks about oracle cards and stuff like that. So I didn't read all that when I was at the store, but I started and I turned to this page, and straight away I was like, oh damn, this would make amazing art journaling stuff. So yes, I brought this book to cut up. Now I will warn you, there are some naked representations of people in this book, so look away. I'll try my best. In fact, I did pre-mark some. At least two of the ones I pre-marked, because I know there's no rude bits in those. So I pre-marked this one here, and I didn't actually say the artist's name, did I? Tony Carmine Salerno. But yeah, I'd never heard of this artist. And part of me is like, oh, I'm cutting up this gorgeous art book for art journaling. But also, this was at, okay, yes, there is on that page, my apologies. This book is in the, was in the op shop. I should have double checked. I marked these for something else. These books were in the op shop, and like someone may come along and know the artist and buy it for the art, but also I view it as still being used because I'm going to use this for art journaling. So, for example, for this page here, the pages that I have marked, I have a page in 30 Days of Creativity, which is called Progress Not Perfection. This is one that I'm thinking of filming a process on, because I've talked about how I would like to turn this into a puzzle. So like color it in, photocopy it, put a puzzle pattern on the back, cut it out, and then stick in the first solidly colored piece and then the puzzle pieces on top, but then have some pieces flying off. And then on this side, I thought it would be really cool to have a portrait. Now again, I could sit here and draw a portrait in. Apologies. But I also was like, well, this is really neat, and this actually fits quite nicely in there. So I can cut this up and then add in some texture on top, add in different bits, and this would also give a color scheme that I could pull over. So yeah, I see a lot of potential in using this. So yes, I am going to be cutting up this book, but it's still being used, you know? It's not just sitting on a shelf at the opportunity store not being purchased. So I don't know, if you have a issue with that, I do understand, but I would rather make use of a book. And like, if I brought this and put it on my shelf, I would never ever flip it. I do have some art books on my shelf, and I never ever flip them. They just sit there as clutter. I'd rather make use of what's around me, you know. So yeah, somebody brought this to someone named Amy, which I had to crack up laughing because I was like, huh, if that's not a sign. But yeah, I paid $3 for this book, for this really beautiful hardcover book. So that's all the arty, crafty supplies. Now let's get on to the colouring books. Because, oh my gosh, did I buy colouring books. I could have brought a lot more. Just saying. It has been a while since I went to some of the stores that I usually frequent to see what colouring books had come in. So because I hadn't been there for a while, there was a lot of new colouring books. And at Wickles in particular, they did say, yes, we're expecting to get a lot more in just before Christmas. So I'm going to have to take some trips down there. But the first one I got was Universal Monsters by Ellen Roberts. I have one other Ellen Roberts colouring book, the Beauty of Horror one. And I saw this one. I've seen a few clip-throughs of it. It's got Ellen's style, but it deals with famous monsters and characters, and they're a little bit more in a scene, and it's not so gruesome as the Beauty of Horror. So I think this is going to be a really neat one to colour. I'm hoping to get one coloured this month because of course it's Halloween, so I feel like it's a really good month to colour something. I love this Frankenstein page. But yeah, you can see here it cost me $28.99 at Wickles if you are interested. and I am excited to do a page in there, hopefully. And again, if you want a flip through of it, please let me know down below. More than happy to flip these. The second book that I got at Whitcoulls was Dark Art Nightmare by Francis Goitier. So I have Dark Art Supernatural, and I really enjoyed working in that. And Candace from Happy Catastrophe really loves Francis Goitier and keeps on saying that the newer the book, the better his art is. And so I saw this one on the shelf. You can see here it was $27.99 at Whitcoulls. I saw this one on the shelf and I was like, well, Candace recommends it. I'll buy it. I didn't even flip it. I just brought it. So yeah, I haven't even had a proper flipper in here. Again, I'm hoping to get to a page in here this month because it's a very, ooh, I like that. I do love ocean scenes. It is a little bit more spooky than what I usually like to colour, but I do actually really enjoy Francis's work and the detail he puts in, and the pages that I colour in his books always are just amazing. He's got such a dynamic perspective that it always results in a really interesting colouring page, and every page I've seen coloured of his work it's just turned out amazing as well. So I really like his work. I would really love to get the Dimensions colouring book too. Right, the third book that I brought at Whitcoulls is Kirby Selection Mythic Animals. So of course this is a Kirby, so it's an instant buy. Again, it was $27.99. I have been asked to flip this one, so I will be doing a flip through of it for you. But yeah, I knew this one had just come out in Aotearoa. Normally I pre-order them. However, I knew that the places I pre-order it from always get in Kirby's books, and I can find them in the store. I can find them online. It's a very easy book for me to access. So I didn't pre-order it this time because I knew I would get it regardless. And because it's a compendium book, it is a book that uses images from other books of Kirby's. I was like, I'm not in a rush to get it, but I will get it because of course I get every single Kirby book. Kirby is one of my instant buys. So yeah, it is stunning. It does use images from different books. I believe it is Mythomorphia, Worlds Within Worlds. Here we go. Yeah, Mythomorphia, Worlds Within Worlds, and Mythic World are the 3 books that are in here. So if you obviously don't have these books or you love these 3 books in particular, it could be a good book to get for you. But yeah, I'll show you a couple of pages, but we'll sit down and do a proper flip through of it in another video. So I have another 3 colouring books to show you. And these ones were all purchased at the warehouse, and they all seem to be very similar. And that is Art Maker Dragon Riders, Art Maker Queen of Dragons, and Art Maker Fae Fantasy. Now, I saw these on the shelf. I have never seen them before. They were $10 each, which straight away, like, that's so cheap for a colouring book here. And I saw the cover and I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, immediately all 3 of these, exactly what I love. I grabbed the Fae Fantasy one. I turned to a page, saw the line work, turned to another page, saw the line work, and went, yep, and just grabbed all 3 off the shelf. I didn't even flick these other 2. I was just like, done. Grabbed all 3 because I was like, yes. I love it. I love it. The thing is, I got home, I was looking at the back because I didn't want to like fully flip them. I wanted to just have a little sneak peek, but you can see some of the images here. And I was just like, oh, I'm so excited. I love it. I love it. And then I was looking down here. Illustrations created by Hinkless Studio using Midjourney. Midjourney is an AI generator. I try not to buy AI art. I would rather support actual artists. And so I saw that and I was like, oh damn. Oh damn. So the thing is, I have now brought them. In New Zealand, you cannot return things for change of mind, which this would be considered change of mind. You can return products for if they're faulty or not as advertised. This was advertised as a colouring book. It's a colouring book. We have the Fair Trading Act here, so you can't return products for change of mind. However, if products are faulty, you are very, very well protected. So it's basically like it's fair trading. So I can't return these. But I also really do love the artwork. So while if I had gone in and clicked they were AI art, I wouldn't have purchased them. Because I have already purchased them, I am going to hold on to them and colour them just so they don't go to waste. But every time I colour in them, I will mention that this is AI art. It is not something that I wish to have in my collection. However, I have accidentally ended up with 3 books that are AI art. And so, yeah, I'm hoping because it says illustrations by Hinkler Studio, they have actually come in and like actually edited it and cleaned it up a bit. Like having a quick flick, I'm not seeing any hand issues, which is usually one of the big things about AI art, but yeah, I'm a little gutted because like normally here this would be a big issue with AI art and hands, but it's not bad. It's not bad. We've got some good hands here. Yeah, it was a bit disappointing. But I am going to keep them because I do love the artwork. It is very much what I am interested in colouring. They're single-sided, and as I said, I can't return them, so I'm going to keep them. So if you want to have a flick through of all 3 of these books, one of these books, please let me know. As I said, I will always stipulate that these ones are AI art, either generated and then hand drawn or just generated. And yeah, so that is everything that I purchased yesterday. As I said, I also placed some orders online, so I have a few more things coming, but that'll probably be another haul. Yeah, emotional shopping. Good times, good times. So I hope you've enjoyed this haul. It's again, I don't often do hauls, but I hope you've enjoyed this haul and seeing everything that I got and my plans for it. Take care of yourself. Try not to emotional shop, but if you need to emotional shop, enjoy it. Yeah, much aloha to you all. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!